So let's talk about Elf with Will Ferrell. Ho 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 ho! This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Ho ho ho! So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2003 Christmas comedy flick Elf, released by New Line Cinema, directed by Jon Favreau, written by David Berenbaum, starring Will Ferrell along with James Caan, Zoey Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, Daniel Tate, Bob Newhart, and Ed Asner. Now, the film centers on Buddy, a human who was adopted and raised by Santa's elves. And he learns about this and heads to New York City to meet his biological father while also spreading Christmas cheer in a world of cynics in the process. Now, I had an on-again, off-again like of this movie. Just recently, not so long ago, I revisited this film for the first time in years. I had feeling, mixed response for it, but after revisiting it, I want to say this is a very fun movie. I may watch it again, you never can tell. But anyway, let's see now. Now, Elf is considered, often listed among the greatest Christmas films of all time. Well, in a way it is. So, let's get into our story. Now, on Christmas Eve, a baby boy at an orphanage crawls into Santa Claus's sack and is unwittingly transported back to the North Pole. When the baby is discovered at the workshop, the elves name him Buddy after the brand label on his diaper. And Papa Elf adopts and raises him. Buddy grows up at the North Pole believing he is an elf and accepted by the elf community. Excuse me. But due to his human sides, he is unable to keep up with the other elves and demoted to the demeaning job of toy testing. Soon, Buddy overhears that he is human, and Papa Elf explains that Buddy was born to Walter Hobbs and Susan Wells and given up for adoption. Susan subsequently died, and Walter, who now works as a children's book publisher at the Empire State Building in New York City, is unaware of Buddy's existence. But to Buddy's horror, Santa reveals that Walter is on the naughty list due to his selfish and unscrupulous demeanor, but suggests Buddy could help redeem him. So Buddy promptly travels to New York and finds his father as he's at work. But even after he mentions Susan Wells, Walter misinterprets him as a dysfunctional Christmas gram messenger and has him kicked out of the premises. Inspired by a sarcastic remark from the security guard, Buddy heads to a local Gimbel's department store where the manager mistakes him for an employee. At the store's Santaland, he meets Joey, an enthusiastic employee with whom he is instantly smitten. After hearing that Santa will be at the store the following day, Buddy jubilantly decorates Santaland overnight. When Buddy realizes that the Gimbal Santa is not the real Santa, he unmasks him and causes a wild tumult in the store that lands old Buddy in jail. Oh man, that was actually a pretty good part, actually. Walter reluctantly bails Buddy out and takes him to a doctor for a DNA test, which confirms that Buddy is in fact his long-lost son. The doctor convinces Walter to take Buddy home to meet his stepmother, Emily, and 12-year-old half-brother, Michael. Believing once he is faced with reality, he will drop the elf thing and move on as a regular adult. Walter and Michael are put off by Buddy's strange behavior, but Emily insists that they care for him until he recovers. Yeah, I gotta tell you, he's absolutely funny. He's funny in this when he's there at Walter's place. Yeah, I mentioned about the three candy, what have you, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup. Oh, wow. Let me see now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Michael eventually warms up to Buddy after he defends him from a gang of bullies in a snowball fight. and Michael encourages Buddy to ask Jovi on a date, which she accepts. During the date, the two fall in love. Meanwhile, Walter's company is in trouble after their most recent book fails to sell. Walter's boss, Fulton Greenway, lays down a hard deadline for Walter to have a new book ready by Christmas Eve. In desperation, Walter and his team secure a meeting with best-selling children's author Miles Finch. Buddy interrupts the meeting to boast of his newfound love and mistakes Finch, who has dwarfism, for an elf. Buddy unintentionally insults Finch and pesters him into losing his temper. Angered and insulted, Finch attacks Buddy and walks out on Walter, who snaps in anger at Buddy for ruining the meeting and harshly disowns him. Heartbroken, Buddy leaves a note for Walter, Emily, and Michael on an etch-a-sketch and wanders about in the street, lamenting that he does not fit in anywhere. Boy, does that sound like a certain Hermie the elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? In a way. Alright, you got 5 seconds to stop this video. I'm going to get into the ending. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers. If you've seen this movie, continue on to the 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Now, on Christmas Eve, after finding Finch's notebook full of ideas, Walter and his team scramble to create a book to pitch. As Walter prepares to pitch the book to Greenway that evening, Michael, who found Buddy's note, arrives and informs Walter that Buddy is gone. Realizing he was wrong and forced to choose between his job or his family, Walter quits his job and leaves with Michael to find Buddy. As Buddy wanders the streets, he watches Santa's sleigh crash in Central Park, attracting a large crowd. Buddy tracks down Santa, who explains that the sleigh has lost its engine and cannot fly without it due to a shortage of Christmas spirit. Buddy finds the engine and is reunited with Walter and Michael. Walter apologizes to Buddy and accepts him as his son. Buddy then takes them to meet Santa, who proves himself to Michael by showing him what he truly wanted for Christmas. Michael takes Santa's list and reads it in front of television news cameras gathered outside the park, proving that Santa Claus is real. The Central Park Rangers, who have a grudge against Santa for placing them on the naughty list, chase the sleigh as Buddy tries to reattach the engine. Jovi leads the crowd in singing Santa Claus has come to town, helping raise enough Christmas spirit to fully power the sleigh without the engine for the first time in years. Well, yeah, that was pretty fun too, that scene in the last act in the park. That's really something, I'll tell you what. Okay. By the next Christmas, Walter starts his own publishing company with a best-selling book about Buddy's stories. Buddy and Jovi, now married, bring their newborn daughter, Susie, to visit Papa Elf. And that's the end. So, what did I think of Elf? Well, after revisiting this for the first time in years, I've actually come to give it a liking now. I liked it a little bit when I first watched it. Anyway, the film went on to become a big success for New Line, and it went on to make 222 million worldwide. And Ferrell's performance of Buddy was praised by audiences and critics alike, with many calling it one of his best performances. I have to agree with him. Now, Ferrell went on to do some other funny characters, such as, Ron Burgundy and Anchorman, and let's see, Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights. Yeah, and lots of other characters, even though he's appeared in other movies before this. But anyway, I think Elf is essentially one of Mr. Ferrell's best films. Now, aside from him, actually, according to my source, Jim Carrey was originally attached to play the role when the script was written way back, but it took so long to get the film out that, he lost patience, so he dropped out and was replaced by Ferrell himself. Playing Walter is James Caan. Playing Jovi is Zoey Deschanel. Playing Emily is Mary Steenburgen. Playing Michael is Daniel Tay. And as for our two legendary characters, well, not legendary characters, but legendary actors, Papa Elf is played by Bob Newhart, and Santa himself is played by Ed Asner. I have to admit, they were both really good. Now, also in the cast, there's also Faison Love, Peter Dinklage, Amy Sedaris, Andy Richter, Kyle Gass, and even Jon Favreau, the director himself. And actually, I didn't even know this was him. Peter Billingsley, you may know him, Ralphie from A Christmas Story, plays the head elf in Santa's workshop, although he's uncredited, though. I didn't know that was actually him. Let's see now. And actually, we have a talking snowman that's almost kind of like Sam the Snowman, Burl Ives from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He's called Leon, though, and he's actually voiced by an actual Leon. Leon Redbone. Yeah, I've heard that name before. He's a singer. Anyway, I have to say, Elf is definitely one of the funniest Christmas films out there. I think it's got a real good cast. It's got a pretty good story. Jon Favreau did a great job in directing. Let's see, John Debney doing the score for this. Very good. So, and anyway, with it being so successful, it went on to inspire Elf the Musical, which was a big hit on Broadway in 2010, as well as an NBC stop motion animated television special called Elf Buddy's Musical Christmas. Anyway, there would be lots of other things as well. There was also a video game, but it was only released on Game Boy Advance, though. There's been talks about doing a sequel, but very unlikely, though. But it would be nice, though. So, anyway. Oh, yeah, and more recently, there's been an Elf cereal I've been seeing on shelves at Walmart. Yeah, I've been seeing this along with Elf 2 Elf on the shelf cereals. I'm rather disappointed they don't have Christmas Crunch. You know, the Captain Crunch, this Christmas Crunch, you know. Believe me, I like that cereal. Okay, enough about that. But anyway, would I recommend Elf? You better believe it. After all, I gave it a second chance this year, and well, I like it now even more. And it's just so much fun, and it's probably one of the best Will Ferrell movies I've ever known. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it. So, what are your thoughts on Elf? Please tell me in the comment section below. And if you like this, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of Yogi's First Christmas. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you might want to check out some of these other fun-filled holiday features. The upper left-hand corner is my review of the original Home Alone, which recently celebrated its 30th anniversary this year. Or if you want a little more of the Big Apple with a little holiday cheer, go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Or if you just want some more fun with the big guy, St. Nick, go to the bottom left-hand corner for my review of The Santa Claus, which I reviewed for its 25th anniversary last year. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.